Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahashem, Yahawashi Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the true leaders of Israel to this day, who taught me this truth. And I would like to say shalom to all the Akim and the Akwath that's believing on this truth and that's seeking their salvation at the hands of Yahawah and his only begotten son, Yahawashi. I would like to say shalom. So today, I just want to go into a quick video and speak on how the reality that the average person is now facing in Babylon has been our reality, okay? And the time for putting off prophecy, see, that time is over. And we're going to get right into it today. Okay, we're going to play this video that I have pulled up on the screen. But before we play this video, let's get a precept. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12. Okay, starting at verse 21. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth?" Okay, see, our people truly think that Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is going to continue to prolong these days and not bring these prophecies to pass. Okay, because when you go into that word vision, it speaks about the divine oracles, okay, the prophecies that's written. All right, verse 23, "Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease." Okay, and he's doing that via prophecy. He's making known, okay, what's getting ready to come to pass, and he's putting it in your face, Jake. Okay, see, all these stout words you have spoke against Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, that's getting ready to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. Okay, for there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divinations within the house of Israel. For I'm the Lord, Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. I will speak. Okay, he speak through his prophets, and the words that I shall speak shall come to pass. All right, that's why we're seeing these wars heat up. Okay, that's why we see the least of the flock dragging America into this last war. Okay, the least of the flock should draw them out. Okay, and they're drawing all these different nations out. Okay, these prophecies getting ready to come to pass. Okay, I shall speak and it shall come to pass, and it shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, speaking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, a very rebellious, okay, stiff-necked, hard-headed, disobedient people, okay, O rebellious house, will I say the words, and I will perform it, saith the Lord. So Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is getting ready to perform, okay, getting ready to make good on every word, okay. See, the will of the Lord getting ready to stand. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and go here. Proverbs 19, okay, in verse 21, it says, "There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand." Okay, see, the counsel of the Lord is getting ready to stand. Let's play this video. It says, listen up, especially to you Jakes between 18 and 25, because, everybody's, speaking about this draft now. Well, via prophecy, okay, especially in 2nd Ezra 16 that we got pulled up here, your ass going to war. Okay, all you rebellious Jakes, okay, that want to be gun toting, wild, wild west men, okay, your ass getting ready to go to war. Let's back this up a little bit.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
So Mr. No New Wars won't rule out reinstating the draft, according to Caroline Levitt, which is really odd because I thought that the president of peace said that we had already won this war. We haven't won the war. In fact, we woke up to images of black rain, oil fires, and Armageddon-like scenes all over Iran. And reports from residents in Tehran that they have been told to stay inside for fear of toxic acid rain. They need to worry about what they're eating because of contamination on food. They've bombed a desalination plant, and people report that it's difficult to breathe if they try to go outside or drive anywhere. A 7th U.S. soldier has now died. The State Department has bypassed Congress to send Israel more than 20,000 bombs, and the State Department has issued mandatory departure orders for diplomats in Saudi Arabia. All of this is the reality of a war that's being decided in Washington by men who are playing golf this weekend and men who think that it's fun to cosplay military heroes and then come up with cheesy slogans and sizzle reels on social.
And see, that's what that's what everybody forget. Okay. Once again, we read Proverbs 19. The counsel of the Lord is gonna stand, but no, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right. This is prophecy, baby. All right. These these elites, okay, on down to their do boys are doing the will of the Lord. All right. This is Proverbs 21:1. It says the king's heart, speaking about their mind. Okay. They not making no decision on their own. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So Yahawah Yahawashi is putting the spirit on these Edomites to do what they doing. Okay. And once again, your sons and daughters will go to war. Okay. Your sons and daughters will go to war. And the ones that don't go over there to the Middle East, guess what? You're going to die a horrific death over here in America, Babylon the Great. All right. See, that's the time we're in. We're not in the time of peace. Okay. Don't let these goddamn devils fool you. Talking about peace this, peace that. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon you suddenly. Okay. Don't let these niggas fool you. All right. You ain't gonna be able to vote your way out of this. You ain't gonna be able to protest your way out of this. This is the will of the Lord. Okay. He's getting ready to destroy the landmass of America, Babylon the Great. Let's play.
Social media to celebrate their victories. These are the men who will decide if they're going to reinstate the draft and ship your boys off to war.
What would you say if there was a draft, mandatory military service, to send troops to Iran or the Middle East to fight in this war if it got any more serious? I mean, it's quite serious now, but I'm talking if it went more bigger scale, more countries involved. You know what I'm talking about? Check out this clip from Fox News and notice she didn't really say that's not going to happen. Listen to this.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
Okay, hold on a second. I typed this in for the U.S., and I'm going to tell you what it says for Canada. But it says, no, there's no active duty military. Don't worry about that. But automated registration of the selective service system remains in place as a contingency, and it's going to start in late 2026. Now, when I typed in for Canada, is there a draft? Is there a mandatory military service? It says, no, Canada it's totally voluntary. It's been voluntary since World War II. In other words, it was mandatory during a world war, but it's not mandatory when there's no world war. You know what I mean? So if there was another world war, is all of a sudden, like, to me, it's not very convincing to say, like, no, don't worry about a draft. The last one was during a world war.
The White House is considering a military draft. No, I'm not exaggerating. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt was on an interview with Fox News, and the anchor asked her, hey, what do you say to those parents who are worried about their sons being drafted to fight in a war they don't agree with? And Carolyn Leavitt basically said, oh, we're not ruling out any options. Let me explain to you what that really means. The only reason you even consider a military draft for a conflict is because you are planning a ground invasion and you are expecting it to have high casualty numbers. Every angle I look at the situation from, I can find no other reason that they're refusing to rule out a military draft other than they are planning a ground invasion of Iran. You may be telling yourselves, oh, this will be just like Vietnam. No, it will be so much worse. Unlike Vietnam, the government of Iran has spent the last 30 to 50 years preparing for this conflict because they knew it was coming. That means they are better prepared for the scenario, better supplied, and better trained. And it's also worth noting that as a percentage of Iran's land, they are one of the most mountainous countries on the planet. The Iranians know those mountains, the United States doesn't. So here are some things to keep in mind. First, look up conscientious objectorship. Figure out how to apply for it. Figure out how to win an application for conscientious objectorship, because that will keep you out of a draft. Second, start talking about fragging as publicly and often as you can on social media and in real life. Keep in mind at all times that the penalty for refusing draft summons or draft deployment is a far better alternative, even though it is a 5-year sentence in prison. We have no indication that a draft is imminent. We do have a heavy indication that the United States government under Donald Trump is considering one anyway.
See, that's what's getting ready to happen. Yahawashi has appointed some type of a calamity for you wicked ass Jakes. 2/3. Okay? Because even though we know we're gonna see, gruesome things, Yahawashi is gonna have a hedge of protection over his elect. This is Jeremiah 18. All right. And we'll start at 18. This is Jeremiah 18 and 18. Then said they, come, let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law should not perish from the priests, nor the counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophets. Come, let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. And this was during Jeremiah's time, okay? But Jeremiah represents the prophets, okay? And see, Jake has had a stout look, okay, a harsh mouth, okay, towards the words of the Lord. All right. And see, we're in a time where if you didn't take heed to the prophets, starting off with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, okay, you're more than likely, if you don't repent, or if Yahweh Shem Yahushua does not have mercy on you in these times, you're getting ready to receive gruesome judgments. Okay, this is verse 19. Give heed to me, O Lord, and hearken to the voices of them that contendeth with me. Shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember, I stood before thee to speak good for them and to turn away thy wrath. And see this word, going out. Okay, we were advocating for you, Jake. Okay, but it was up to you to hearken. Verse 21. Therefore, deliver their children up to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of children, and let them be widows, and let their men be put to death, let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Okay, a lot of these young niggas getting ready to take their ass to battle. Like I said, you want to be gun toting young niggas over here in average civilian life. No, get you a helmet. Okay, get you a uniform, all right, and take your gun toting ass over there to the Middle East and get on the front lines with them goddamn Iranians. Okay, how about do that? Verse verse 22, let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop upon them suddenly, okay? And even over here in the States, okay, troops are getting ready to be on the streets, all right? For they have digged a pit to take me and hid snares for my feet. Yet, Lord, I know of all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their iniquities, neither blot out their sins in the sights, but let them be overthrown before thee. Deal thus with them in the time of thy anger. And see, Jake is getting ready to be dealt with. Okay, you gotta remember, what is that? Ezekiel, let's go here right quick. Ezekiel 9. See, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi is getting ready to let go, let loose those death angels. We're going to get straight to the point. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sign that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And ultimately, that's going to be the elect that's going to be saved. We're going to have that mark upon our forehead, okay? That the Wah, all right? Exempt from judgment. And to the others in my hearing, go ye after through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. See, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not going to have pity, because what does it tell you in Chronicles? Let's go right here. Second Chronicles. Okay. See, Jake don't want to seek the Lord. All right. So punishment is coming. Second Chronicles 15 and 13. Whosoever will not seek the Lord power of Israel shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. What is that? First Peter 4 and 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the most high, and if first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel? Okay, see, Jake is creeping up on the time of judgment, and he still will not repent. Verse 5 again, Ezekiel 9 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient man which was before the house. So judgment getting ready to go out, okay? This war heating up in the Middle East, okay, is bringing judgment to all these nations, okay? The least of the flock is drawing America, Babylon the Great out, okay? And Russia is becoming a guard unto these smaller nations, okay? The weak is saying they strong, okay? And this all is going to fulfill biblical prophecy. So let's read Second Ezra chapter 16, and we'll get straight to the point. We'll start at verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall be waxed old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel through them. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegroom, and the woman shall mourn, having no husbands, and the daughter shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. See, that's the time we're coming into. And that's why it tells you in Isaiah chapter 4 and 1 that 7 women will take hold of one man. Okay, and it's going to be an Israelite man, because it tells you in Isaiah 13 how he would make a man more precious than fine gold. All right, see, a lot of these men are getting ready to be taken out via prophecy. All right, so it's it's something to look forward for the hopeful elect. Okay, we're ready for these times. All right, we understand all paths of prophecy leads to the kingdom of heaven and America being destroyed. All right. So these people over here in Babylon, okay, their reality has become our reality. Okay, and we rejoicing, okay, the same things that excite us, okay, have brought fear and terror, okay, over the minds and hearts, okay, of the average Babylonians. Okay, and see, we're rejoicing. So the time of putting prophecy off, Jake, okay, see, that shit's over. Okay, your reality has become our reality. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi by Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to head apostles and elders, Shalom, to all the Akim and Outwaf. Shalom.